Hello. Here's another segment from the last one. We mentioned that we're putting these, I guess you call them vignettes, of different poems whenever the mood strikes. And I was just walking around here, I guess it was yesterday, and looking around, and man, what a nice place. When I say nice, I'm not, I didn't get this by my hand. I've had more and wound up with it less, but now that I have peace of mind, I've got a whole lot more, it appears, and one of my favorite spots here on this little ball of mud we call Earth. But I was just thinking last night, it sure is beautiful, especially around sunset. Right now it's about noon, and I was just thinking all the times that I've been on the run, and I've mentioned before that this book of poetry, I guess 169 entries in this collection, but the one that I'm about to share with you, I'll set it up. It's called Home, and it was written on the 2nd of March in the year 2002, and it was at 04:20 in the morning, 4:20 in the morning. And I was at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, and I'd gone out there for some event, and it was 4, and it's when everybody's gone home and everybody's just, you've been to wherever you've been. I don't know if it was the Grammys or some other event that I went to, but I was just sitting there, and I got to looking around and got to thinking about home, and this verse came to me, and it says, I've always had a home, but most of my life it was either in my boots or on the run. By God's good grace, I finally found a beautiful house to place it in. Thank you, Lord. And that's it. Simple as that. It's I guess that was my going to bed prayer. Because sometimes some of the places mortals sleep at, self-included, you got to sleep with one eye open. But when you have inner peace, it doesn't matter where you sleep. You just fire up a bottle rocket prayer and go to sleep. Years ago, speaking about that piece, years ago, I was on a downstroke like most musicians and artists do. You go up on top of the mountain, and then you're moving so fast you go down the other side of the mountain, and the only thing you leave up on the mountain is your wallet and your bank account, your royalties, and all of that mess. And if you're faint of heart, rock and roll, I guess, or anything, any successful thing, it's going to come easy. So you got to have a made-up mind. But anyway, I had already been through that and come out buck naked, broke, and almost crying. But then I had regained, by the good grace of God, and this thought came to me at the end of this celebration, whatever it was. And I must admit that when you have the peace of God, you can sleep anywhere. Back to that side story I was telling you, after I had settled down, had my mind and my heart in the right place and my focus on the things of value, I was a single parent there for a while, and I had the charge of my young daughter, who was just a young child, maybe 5, and I was a single parent. And somebody had called me that they had a friend that needed a place to stay, and they couldn't find a place at that hour, and would I be kind enough? They vouched for him, and could you put him up for the night? I had a big house, 2 or 3 bedrooms, I don't remember. But anyway, I said, let me make a few calls. So I called some ladies that I knew were trustworthy, like babysitter, and I says, would you come and keep my daughter, take her home with you and keep her for the night? And someone needs a place to stay, and I don't know much about them. I can't verify, can't get in touch with the person that referred them. So I just, they said they would. The lady said she would, and she came over and picked up my daughter, and she used to babysit her, so my daughter was not in any danger or peril or anything like that, comfortable with that lady. So I spoke to the man that had been sent to my house, and I said, I can't verify who you are, or I can't get a hold of the person that sent you. I says, but I'll take your word. Now, if you're here as you say you are, passing through for whatever business, I says, that's fine. And if you're here for any other purpose, I said, I'm going to be asleep right there in that room. The door's open. And if you came for any other purpose, I'm going to sleep. So if you came for whatever purpose you came for, do your best. I'm going to sleep. And he says, I am who they told you I am and who I say I am. And he was a little bit puzzled. He smiled, but I said good night and went to bed. And years later, he turned out to be a grand friend. But he always, he'd think about that and laugh, because he said, you think I was coming to get even for someone? I says, I didn't know. I just didn't want my baby to be involved. The man was a good man, a good moral, God-fearing man, and he had been transferred from somewhere else to go to work here in Memphis, and he had a family and children and all that, and he was just scouting and needing a place. All that to say that home is one thing, and as this poem will explain, it says, I've always had a home, but most of my life it was either in my boots or on the run. By God's good grace, I finally found a beautiful house to place it in. Thank you, Lord.